Don't try and trick me now, because I'm not going to play this game. Delete that bit. John, can you just delete it, please?
No Duchess, no titles, branded infamous and exiled from the palace. Sarah Ferguson has nothing left to lose. She's done staying quiet, and now she's ready to play. Not about Charles or palace politics. She knows who to keep close and who to bring down. Her target? Meghan. Yeah, that Meghan. Meghan Markle. Let's dive in.
And is there a risk that Andrew, if pushed too far, could do a Harry, move abroad, write a book and destroy the royal family?
Yes, I mean, that's always been the concern. I think it's more likely to come from Sarah than from Andrew, and I think it's more likely to be done through a cutout, a sort of omid scheme.
October 2025, and the walls are closing in on Sarah Ferguson and Prince Andrew. King Charles has made it crystal clear. The Royal Lodge is no longer theirs. The title she clung to for decades, gone. The income streams that kept her afloat, severed. Publishing deals vanished. And all of it traces back to one name that haunts every conversation about them, Jeffrey Epstein. Those emails, those connections, those years of denial finally caught up with them. They're being pushed out, isolated. But here's where it gets interesting. Fergie isn't going after Charles. She isn't targeting William or Kate. No, she's setting her sights on someone who thought they were untouchable, someone who made the fatal mistake of ghosting her when she needed help most, Meghan Markle. And if the rumors are true, Fergie knows things that could unravel the carefully constructed narrative the Sussexes have built their entire brand on. We're talking about how Meghan really entered royal circles, the murky waters before she was famous, the yacht party rumors, who she knew, when she knew them, and why the official story never quite added up.
Let's go back to March 2017. A wedding in Jamaica. Small, intimate, exclusive. Tom Inskip, one of Harry's close friends.
Harry flew premium economy from London, standard for him back then. But Meghan, she arrived in style on a private jet, not Harry's jet, a friend's jet. And that friend was connected to Marcus Anderson, the influential figure behind Soho House, who seemed to have a hand in every major social connection Meghan made during this period. Now, here's what makes this wedding fascinating. It wasn't just Harry and Meghan there. Word is, Prince Andrew was there. So was Princess Eugenie. And so was Sarah Ferguson. All of them, together, at a tiny chapel in Jamaica. Not a massive cathedral where you could avoid people. A small, intimate ceremony where everyone saw everyone. This wasn't the first time Meghan had been in these circles. This wasn't some random introduction. The social networks overlapped long before Harry proposed. And that Jamaica wedding was not all. There are also swirling rumors, the yacht rumors. They're claiming that before Meghan became famous, before suits made her a recognizable face, she allegedly attended luxury yacht parties in the Mediterranean. These weren't just fun boat trips. These were events where wealthy men would invite attractive women to spend time on their yachts. But here's why the rumors won't die. There are connections between Meghan and people who definitely were involved in this yacht party world. Marcus Anderson, her close friend and alleged connector, which facilitated some of these gatherings. Ron Burkle owned yachts and hosted events. And Prince Andrew, Sarah Ferguson's ex-husband, accused of attending similar parties. Now, let's be extremely clear here. Being photographed near someone or attending the same event doesn't prove anything sinister. But the speculation is that Fergie, through her proximity to Andrew and her own connections to this elite party circuit, might know whether these rumors about Meghan have any truth to them. Andrew may have crossed paths with Meghan yacht parties years before she met Harry, that Andrew might even have been at events where Meghan was present. If true, it would explain why Fergie has such detailed knowledge of Meghan's past. She wasn't just hearing rumors, she witnessed things firsthand. And if Fergie was there, she has the kind of firsthand knowledge that could rewrite the entire narrative. Fast forward to the Oprah interview in 2021. Meghan says something that most people glossed over, but it's crucial. She mentions that she and Eugenie were already friends before she started dating Harry. Not just acquaintances, friends. These weren't surface-level interactions. These were established relationships.
So the question becomes obvious. How does an American actress become genuine friends with the British princess before ever meeting Prince Harry? The official story is that Harry and Meghan met on a blind date in July 2016, set up by a mutual friend. The narrative has always been vague about who that mutual friend was, but Even if we accept the blind date story at face value, how do we explain Meghan already having an established friendship with Eugenie? How do we explain the comfort level, the visits to Toronto, the easy integration into that part of Harry's life? This is where Sarah Ferguson becomes a problem for Meghan. Fergie knows the timeline. She knows the social circles. She was there at events, at gatherings, in spaces where Meghan appeared before the official relationship began. But here's the interesting part. In an interview years ago, Fergie claimed she didn't meet Meghan until the wedding day in 2018. Never met her before, ever. That was the official story. That was keeping everything clean. But something shifted. Speculation is growing that Fergie is changing her tune. With her back against the wall, with nothing left to lose, sources suggest she's considering a tell-all book. And not just any tell-all. Royal commentators have noted that King Charles is reportedly terrified Fergie could do a Harry and expose decades of secrets. Here's the thing though, Fergie isn't stupid. She knows going after Charles or William would destroy any chance she has of reconciliation. It would obliterate what little standing she has left. But Meghan is a different story. Meghan is the one royal family member that Fergie could expose without burning every bridge that matters to her. In fact, word is certain people in royal circles might actually welcome it. They might even quietly encourage it. Think about it from a strategic standpoint. The royal family has been battered by Harry and Meghan's accusations for years. The Oprah interview, the Netflix series, Harry's book, every revelation framed to make the institution look outdated, racist, and cruel. But what if someone with insider knowledge could flip the script? What if someone could show that the how we met story, the blind date narrative, the whole victim of circumstance angle wasn't exactly accurate? That's leverage. That's value. And Fergie, desperate for income and housing and relevance, might just see this as her way back in. She allegedly reached out to Meghan multiple times. She wanted help, and Meghan ghosted her, cut her off entirely. Now, you might think that's Meghan being smart, distancing herself from someone connected to Epstein, someone with baggage, someone the palace is actively pushing out. That makes sense on the surface. But here's where Meghan might have miscalculated. Fergie and Meghan have something crucial in common. They both married into the royal family as outsiders. They both faced intense scrutiny and criticism. They both were accused of being social climbers who married for status. They both left royal duties under clouds of controversy. And they both understand what it's like to be on the outside looking in, desperate to maintain relevance. The difference, Fergie has been playing this game for 40 years. She knows how it works. She knows that in royal circles, your secrets are only safe as long as people benefit from keeping them. The moment you become a liability, the moment you're no longer useful, those secrets become currency. And Meghan just turned Fergie into a liability without considering what currency Fergie might have. So what currency does Fergie actually have? What does she know? First, the Soho House connections. Marcus Anderson was a central figure in Meghan's life during her years on Suits and her transition into royal circles. Anderson was close with both Meghan and the York family. He facilitated introductions, he arranged access to exclusive events, he moved in circles that connected Hollywood, European aristocracy, and British royalty. If anyone knows the exact timeline of when Meghan entered these circles and who facilitated what, it's people like Anderson. And Fergie was adjacent to all of it. Second, the Jamaica wedding. Fergie was there. She saw the dynamics. She saw how Meghan carried herself, who she talked to, how comfortable she seemed in spaces that should have been completely foreign to her. Tom Bower's book describes Meghan at that wedding as already acting like royalty. That's preparation. Third, those Mediterranean gatherings. If Fergie witnessed Meghan at exclusive events where Prince Andrew and Ron Burkle's circle overlapped, the kind where European aristocracy mixed with Hollywood ambition, it contradicts the narrative of Meghan being completely unfamiliar with these circles. It suggests intentional positioning rather than chance encounters. Fourth, the Eugenie friendship. This is the big one. If Meghan and Eugenie were already friends before Harry, and if Fergie facilitated or witnessed that friendship developing, then the entire blind date narrative becomes questionable. It suggests intentionality. It suggests planning. Now, does any of this mean Meghan did something wrong? Not necessarily. People network. People make connections. People position themselves in circles where opportunities exist. That's not a crime. That's ambition. But it does contradict the story that's been told, and that contradiction is what gives gives Fergie power. The Sussexes have built their brand on authenticity, on being the truth tellers who exposed the machine, on being the victims who escaped. If Fergie can show that key parts of their origin story were curated, were strategic, were less authentic than claimed, it undermines everything. It makes people question what else might not be exactly as presented. And here's the kicker. Meghan can't fight back without exposing more. If Fergie releases a book claiming she knew Meghan before Harry and Meghan denies it, then questions arise about why Eugenie was already a friend. Questions about the Jamaica wedding. Questions about the Soho House connections. Meghan would have to either admit to connections she's downplayed or call multiple people liars, which opens her up to more scrutiny. It's a strategic nightmare. And Fergie knows it. See, Fergie is in what they call a nothing-to-lose position. She's being evicted from Royal Lodge with Andrew. She's lost her title's prestige. She's lost income streams. She's been publicly connected to one of the most notorious figures of the last decade. She's isolated, angry, and desperate. And history shows us that desperate people with insider knowledge don't stay quiet. The speculation right now is that Fergie is negotiating, not just with publishers, but potentially with palace officials. King Charles may be willing to make concessions to keep certain secrets buried. But William apparently doesn't care what Fergie has to say about him. He's clean. He's got nothing to worry about. So he's reportedly pushing back against any deals. And that's where Meghan becomes useful. If Fergie focuses her book on Meghan, it gives Fergie a target that won't cause her permanent exile. It gives the palace a way to push back against the Sussex narrative without getting their hands dirty. And it gives publishers a massive controversy that will sell millions of copies. The question is whether Fergie will actually pull the trigger. Will she write the book? Will she expose what she knows? Or will she continue to negotiate in the background? Meghan, for her part, has gone completely silent on Fergie. No statements, no acknowledgements, no attempts to reconcile or smooth things over. She's banking on the strategy that ignoring Fergie will make the problem go away. That Fergie won't actually risk whatever remaining connection she has to the royal family. But that strategy assumes Fergie has something left to protect. And right now, it's not clear she does. The irony in all of this is almost poetic. Meghan positioned herself as the outsider who was mistreated by the establishment. Fergie lived that reality for decades. Meghan talked about being isolated and unsupported. Fergie experienced that long before Meghan arrived. Meghan leveraged her story to build a media empire. Fergie is now considering doing the exact same thing. They're cut from the same cloth. Both understood how to use media. Both understood how to position themselves as victims while also being strategic operators. Both understood that in the modern royal family, public perception matters more than private truth. The difference is that Fergie has 40 years of experience and Meghan might have underestimated her. So where does this leave us? As of now, nothing is confirmed. Fergie hasn't released a book. No publisher has officially announced a deal. No palace insider has confirmed the negotiations. But the speculation is everywhere. The whispers are growing louder, and the circumstances all point in one direction. Sarah Ferguson, stripped of everything that mattered to her, sitting in a house she's about to be evicted from, watching the world label her infamous, while a younger woman who played similar games gets to be a Hollywood power player, that's not a position that inspires silence. That's a position that inspires revenge. And if those rumors are true, if Fergie does know the real timeline of how Meghan entered royal circles, if she can prove that the official story doesn't add up, then Meghan's past isn't just coming back to haunt her, it's coming back with receipts. In royal circles, they say there are no permanent enemies and no permanent friends, just permanent interests. For decades, it was in Fergie's interest to stay quiet, to maintain access, but that calculation has changed. And when calculations change in that world, secrets stop being protected. They become weapons. So maybe Meghan should have taken those calls. Maybe she should have helped when Fergie reached out. Because now, standing alone with no titles, no palace, and no future in the institution she once belonged to, Fergie has nothing left to lose. And that makes her the most dangerous person Meghan could have as an enemy. The truth is, we don't know exactly what Fergie knows. We don't know if she'll actually write the book. We don't know if publishers will pay what she's asking. We don't know if the palace will intervene or quietly cheer from the sidelines. But we do know this: when someone with insider knowledge feels cornered, betrayed, and abandoned, they talk. And when they talk about someone who built an empire on a carefully curated story, the foundations start to crack. Meghan's past might not just be coming back, it might be about to explode in ways she never anticipated. And all because she ghosted the one person who understood exactly how this game is played. What do you think Meghan should do next? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, share this video, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next explosive update. And hype this video if you're really feeling it.